And good afternoon, San Antonio. Welcome to the Happy Handyman Show. I'm Trudy Chook, broadcasting live from Johnny Chook's Home and Hardware. If you'd like to come by the store, we're going to be open till 6:30 today. The address is 2361 Northwest Military Highway. The phone number here, if you have a question, is 210-341-1573. I almost gave out my personal number there on the air. That would have been exciting. And then, like I said, the store is going to be open until 6:30 today, and tomorrow, for your convenience, 11 to 5. Now, that's not the only way that you can find out about products here at Johnny Chook's Home and Hardware. We have a great website under the name The Happy Handyman. If you just go out and Google that, it'll pull up our website. Out there, you'll see all the products that I'm going to talk about today. And if you want to get a little more information, that will be out there. If you don't live in San Antonio and you would like this, you can't find it local, well, I can always ship it to you. So it's just a click, 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 and it's real easy. Anything that you buy on the website under $20, the freight's $8.35 or $8.65. And then if it's over $20, it's $6 to ship. And it doesn't make any difference if you live here in San Antonio or Timbuktu, that we will ship for $6. So there you go. Now, let me tell you, the show's going to be a little bit different today. It's going to be super exciting, hopefully. And what I'm going to do is I gathered a bunch of questions that we got all through the week. When you go out to the website, there's a real quick little click, and you can email me and ask me questions. And so I gathered all the questions this week, and I decided I'd do a show about all the questions that we had, because I figure if one person has a question about this, probably someone else does too. And maybe you don't just get a chance to call me or email. I mean, you're a busy person, but you still have a problem. So let's go over some of the problems that we have. They're not life-threatening, but they can drive you nuts. Okay, so I had this lady email me, and she has a glass top stove, and she accidentally was cleaning around her stove with a microfiber rag, and the edges of it, you're only seeing half of me? How about, okay, let me see if I can get all of me. Well, I'll try, how about that? Is that better? This microfiber rag was stuck to her stove because it was hot. And so she wanted to know, she decided she would just clean it with a cooktop cleaner and that would get rid of it. It didn't. It was stuck on there really well, and she was just beside herself. So this is what I suggested for her to do. You want to turn up your burner a little bit, okay, to get it heated. And then you want to take like a straight edged razor blade. I just pulled this one off the shelf, but they make some that have rubber handles and stuff like that. And you want to take it and turn off the stove. Thank you, Roseanne. You want to then scrape going perpendicular across there, not digging down into your glass stove, but just across there, and try to get off the bulk of your microfiber rag or anything else that got stuck on there. When it heats up, it will help it release it. Then turn off the stove, let it cool, and then you want to use a product that is really good for cooktops. I like Cerama Bryte, okay, for cooktops. You get a huge amount. This will probably last you like for your lifetime. The size I'm looking at is like a 28 ounce, and I think it's about $12. And then put that on the area that you have cleaned, and then use like a Scotch-Brite scrubby sponge to get it off, the rest of it off. There will be very little residue after you scrape the bulk of it off with your straight edge razor blade. And then after that, then just clean the whole thing off so everything looks really good. Hi Cindy, how are you? It's good to see you too. Those of you that are listening on the radio right now, it's because we stream this show live on Facebook at the same time. So I like to do that so that people, if they want to, they can get a chance. I can show them the product on the air. We also then, after we're done with this, we will put it out on our YouTube channel, which is just under Johnny Chook's Home and Hardware. And then it also will go out, we're gonna try to get it out on all the people. We have about 6,000 people that are a part of hygiene, part of our website. Hey, Karen. And we're gonna try to get out the show out on there also. So if you miss it and you just want to just look at it later on your phone, it will be out there for you. Okay, so the next one, a lady called in and she was just beside herself because she said, I cannot get the hard water off of my toilet, and the only thing that removes it is muriatic acid. Muriatic acid, that's like saying you want to keep birds out of the yard, so you use dynamite to scare them away. It's just like overkill, okay? So there's a lot of things that you can do to keep the hard water out of your toilet. I understand that, like, you get some hard water, maybe you only use really one bathroom in your house and you have an extra bathroom, but nobody is upstairs anymore, or nobody, you're the only person, and so that toilet doesn't get flushed a whole lot. And oh yay, Karen, it's pouring rain in Houston. I can't wait till it's pouring rain in San Antonio. You don't use it a whole lot, and so this ring develops around the inside of the bowl, and it is very hard to get that off with just maybe some kind of toilet bowl cleaner. So let me suggest something, and it's something that I suggested to my customer. There is a product called Flexi Scour. It's made by the Pumice people, and they're the people that make the pumice stone and the square ones, the ones on the handle, the big brick ones. And I like this Flexi Scour because it's flexible, okay? The screen is flexible and you can go around all the round parts of your toilet. I never have understood why a pumice stone is square. There's nothing on my toilet that's square. And I haven't ever seen anything that's square. But this Flexi Scour is like, it will take the hard water off immediately, okay? The only thing you need to remember, wear gloves, because it will be real hard on your fingernails. Now, once you get that hard water off, to keep up with it on a weekly basis is simple and easy. And it is a product called Delete Germ. I like to recommend, there are other toilet bowl cleaners, and this has a mild acid in it, okay? But it smells really great. It doesn't have a strong smell. If it smells like anything, it's kind of like peppermint. And then the nice part about it is a disinfectant also. You can use it in your toilet bowl. You can use it to clean the hard water stains off of your glass shower door. We've talked about that before. And you can also use it to clean hard water stains from a sprinkler overspray on your outdoor windows. So you just have to remember to clean immediately and rinse thoroughly. There's no like putting it on, let it work for a little bit, and then coming back. No. You put it on, you clean immediately, you rinse thoroughly. And it's just a really, really great product. Very versatile, toilet and glass, okay? And porcelain. So like if you have a porcelain bathtub that's got soap scum built up on it, the Delete Germ is great. But for the toilet to get off a really built-on hard water stain, it's gonna be the Flexi Scour. Really good stuff. All right, let me tell you where we're located again. We're at 2361 Northwest Military Highway, which is about 2 miles north of Loop 410, right past the light at Lock Hill, Selma. There's tons of parking. This is a lot of the things that I love about this store. We had 5 hardware stores, okay? We owned all the properties on those hardware stores. We had never rented anything before. But for this little location, we do not own this. But we've got tons of parking and a lot of front row parking, so it's super convenient to get to. So 2361 Northwest Military Highway. The phone number here, if you have a question while I'm talking, 210-341-1573. All right, so we are getting teased saying we might get some rain. And like Karen on Facebook, she says they're getting tons of rain right now. So if we're lucky enough to get rain here in San Antonio, how many of you have an area on your roof that maybe you think, hey, we're not getting any kind of rain, I'm not gonna mess with it for a little bit longer, but it leaks, okay? It leaks. And it may not leak with just a small rain, but if we get a blowing rain, it leaks. And you have already fixed that spot on the inside of your house where it shows water damage, and you don't want to do it again. So what can you use? It's real easy. Now, I pulled the caulking up here, but they also make it, it's called Through the Roof. They also make it in a brushable quart and a brushable gallon. Through the Roof is a crystal clear. It's not like that tar stuff that you see on people's roofs that just really screams. Through the Roof doesn't show up, it just holds up in rain, blowing rain. It will help stick down loose shingles. If you've got a broken shingle like the tile, the barrel tile, you can use it to glue that back down with. If you've got a pipe that is sticking up through the roof, that's how they got the name, a vent pipe, and it leaks around your vent pipe, you want to use the caulk and go around it. It will give you 10 years of leak-free service. So if you have a spot right now and you're thinking it's going to rain and it might rain hard and you want to take care of this, go by and get from your local hardware store Through the Roof. Okay, it's super easy to use, and it will not let you down. All right, now I had a customer come in, and I've got a couple of things I want to show y'all. He was having a problem with a towel bar that had completely fallen out of the wall, and he showed me a picture of it, and all it was left was the little circles. And I said, did you have anything in there? And he didn't remember because he was not the towel bar person, okay? He was just the one that was left with one that fell on the floor. And he said it literally just fell on the floor. So he wanted to reinstall it. And I said, you know you're gonna have to move it up about 3 inches. And he said, that's fine, but what do I do with these holes? I've tried just putting in some caulk and it won't stay, it just goes out the back. Oh yeah, it won't stay where you put it. So there's a couple of things that you can do. A lot of people will take a piece of sheetrock and they keep the paper and they cut back the sheetrock on the back and then mud in that piece of sheetrock to cover completely those holes. And it's a lot of trouble, and you have to go back over and over again to do it. So let's just make it a little bit easier. I always like plan B. And you want to start with just a sheetrock patch. They make all kinds of sheetrock patches. I grabbed this one off the shelf, but we make several, a lot smaller. And what it does is it will have an adhesive on one side, and you just take that adhesive off and put it over the area that you need to patch, and then you're going to use some spackling. I don't see why you don't just use the Eclipse Plus spackling. They also make one that is a flexible spackling. That's usually for like cracks on the walls and stuff like that. And this, the Eclipse Plus, it won't shrink and it won't dry up and crack and do all that. It's just a really nice spackling. Adapt does a really good job on that. And you're gonna push it in place with like a putty knife, okay? And you're gonna let it dry. Now let me tell you, put it on real thin and let it dry, and then come back and put it on again, and then you're good to go. Then you can paint, or if you need to, if you want to put on some, put it on a little thicker and knock it down, you can do that too. Okay, so that's how you take care of a piece that you're actually going to see. And then he's going to take his towel bar and go up a little bit higher, put in the right kind of anchor, okay? It's a little white, it's not a little one, it's a white anchor that screws in, and then you put the screws in. And those things are wonderful. But what if you have an area that you're not going to see? So like maybe behind a door, a doorknob went through the sheetrock, or you're going to be covering it up. Maybe you took down some light fixtures in the bathroom, or some sconces in the dining room, and you're going to be putting up another light, but maybe the faceplate is going to cover this up, the holes that are there. So it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Because you're going to cover it up, but you do have to replace it. Okay, DAP also makes they call it a rapid wall repair patch, and they call it Eclipse. It is really the simplest way to cover up a hole if you're not going to see it, okay? What it is a very paper thin, oh, it's thinner than that, patch that you put on the wall. You paint over it immediately, a thin coat, okay? And then after it's dry, there's this stick, it's like a sticker, okay? Then after it's dry, there's a piece that you pull off. So when you painted that first coat on, it gave you a raised area, okay? Then you pull this little sticker part off and you put on a second coat, thin, let it dry. You want a hint on how to make it dry faster? Put a hair dryer on it or a little fan, okay? It makes paint dry real quick. And then put on a third coat of paint. And by the time you put on the third coat of paint, you cannot see this patch, especially if it's like behind a door or you're covering it up anyway. But it's easy, it's quick, and you can get done with the job, and there's no spackling and waiting for that to dry and sanding. It's called an Eclipse Rapid Wall Patch. Real easy to do. Okay, now, a lady asked me, she says, I have a really hard time using a stud sensor. I never can make them work for me, and do you have one that you recommend? And I do. Zircon makes one that doesn't just especially find, most of them are looking for the nails in the stud, and so the little magnet that's in the stud finder will find that. Well, sometimes that's kind of hard to find. This Zircon Stud Sensor Pro 35, find the one that says Pro 35. It finds the edge of the stud. I don't know how that works, but it finds the edge of the stud, and then you move it across and it'll find the other edge. So then you hold it right in the middle. It's got a little V, you mark it, and you know you're in the middle of the stud. In case you want to hang up something that's extremely heavy, like maybe a mirror that weighs 150 pounds or something like that, that is a good stud finder. Zircon does a really good job. And remember, it's the Stud Sensor Pro 35. Okay, that's the one that's been my favorite. All right, let's see. Okay, then we had another question that just says, hello, my toilet is ghost flushing. How can I fix it? You want to get, and I thought I brought it, no, I thought, because I had another question about this, a Fluid Master 400 flush valve. Okay, the reason that your toilet ghost flushes is because the flapper cannot sit down flat on the seal, okay? And why does that happen? Hard water. Hard water will build up on the seal where the flapper sits down on, and all it takes is just the tiniest little grain of hard water to lift the edge of that flapper and let water get down to it. And it'll go down into the toilet, and after enough water comes out of the tank, boom, it flushes, okay? And then you are like, when does it happen? It happens in the middle of the night when you know that there's no one in the bathroom, at least there better not be, and then this toilet flushes and will scare you. So that's what it is. When you get a new flapper to replace the old one, lift up the seal, turn the water off, flush it, get your flapper, but on the seal, you want to take some sandpaper. You can put it around a tennis ball and rub it back and forth on that seal, and that will take off all the hard water that has built up around these. Let's see, John Reyes has a question on there. All these items will be listed. They will be on the website, and I always leave them out on the radio desk. If you do have a question, John, just call the store, and we'll be happy to help you. 210-341-1573. So that will take care of all that ghost flushing that happens with your toilet. Once you get on a good flapper that's clean and it sits down on a clean seal, it will not do that any longer. And also that Fluid Master will keep you from wasting water too. It will do a good job. Okay, now I had another lady that was in here earlier, and she was wanting she had a couch that stuck back flat to the wall, and she said she was having problems plugging stuff in, that it was the cords were having to go sideways, and she was kind of worried about it, afraid that it would cause a short in the wire, which easily that can happen. And so I suggested that she get these sleek sockets. A sleek socket, for those of you that are looking on Facebook, is a flat socket, a flat cover with a cord attached. The one I'm showing right now is one that's got an 8-foot cord and 3 outlets on the end. And that way you can push your couch or push your desk flat against the wall and be able to plug in to the cord that you can have up to 8 feet away. This is really good for the couch, for the desk. Now let me tell you where else you can use it. How many of you have a beautiful backsplash in your kitchen, and then you have all these cords plugged in for the toaster, for the Keurig, for your maybe your air fryer or something like that, and they stick out? They're not attractive cords, right? Well, if you put one of these sleek sockets on and then fish this cord back behind there, all you'll see is a nice flat plate that goes nicely with your beautiful backsplash, and you won't see all those cords. It's a really good, really cool thing. I had another quick question. A lady asked me that, she asked me real quick, what can she do to discourage squirrels from eating all the seed in her bird feeder? Get a feed that has heat to it. We carry one here called Sizzle and Heat, and the squirrels will leave it alone. Okay, all right. Can you believe it's already over with? Okay, that's it for this week, folks. It's time for you to roll up your sleeves and get busy on some of these projects we've been talking about. But by all means, you remember one thing. It will always be a great day to paint. See you next week.